The audacity of reclamation, why your evolution belongs to you. Have you ever wondered what would happen if you stopped asking for permission to be brilliant? I recently had the profound privilege of interviewing Crystall Boatwright, a visionary who has fundamentally transformed how Black women navigate professional spaces through her groundbreaking work with the Pink Parachute Diaries. Crystall isn't just creating content, she's igniting a revolution of authenticity that's spreading like wildfire across industries where Black women have historically been told to shrink, to conform, to be less. Her podcast has become a sanctuary, a gathering place, a virtual living room where thousands have found the courage to reclaim parts of themselves they've been taught to hide away. What makes Crystall's impact so revolutionary is her unwavering commitment to creating spaces where evolution isn't just permitted, it's celebrated as the birthright it truly is. She has single handedly shifted the conversation around what success looks like for Black women, proving that vulnerability isn't weakness. It's the ultimate power move. We've all been there, standing at the edge of transformation, clutching our brilliance close to our chest, wondering if we dare to let it shine. Maybe you're there right now. Maybe you're holding your breath, waiting for someone to tap you on the shoulder and say, yes, you may proceed with becoming more fully yourself now. I'm here to tell you what Crystall made abundantly clear, that permission slip isn't coming. And thank goodness, because you never needed it in the first place. The world has a funny way of convincing us that our evolution should follow someone else's timeline, that our growth should be palatable, our success should be modest, and our setbacks should be hidden away like shameful secrets. But what if, and stay with me here, what if the messy, beautiful, sometimes chaotic journey of becoming is actually the most powerful asset you possess? When Crystall launched the Pink Parachute Diaries podcast, she wasn't just creating content, she was responding to a profound need she witnessed repeatedly. Black women in the professional spaces feeling isolated in their struggles, pressure to present perfection while hiding the very experiences that made them uniquely equipped to lead. In corporate America, Crystal shared during our conversation, vulnerability is often seen as weakness rather than power, especially for Black women. We're expected to be twice as good while showing half the effort. And heaven forbid we admit when we're struggling. The podcast emerged as a sanctuary where listeners could finally exhale, where faith, resilience, setbacks, and comebacks weren't just acceptable topics, they were the whole point. Where the pink slip that was meant to diminish became the parachute that allowed for a more authentic landing. One listener wrote to Crystall, for years, I thought success meant leaving parts of myself at the door. Hearing these stories of women who refused to fragment themselves, who brought their whole selves to their work and thrived because of it, not despite it, changed everything for me. This is the first truth I want you to carry away today. You have the absolute right to evolve and reclaim your brilliance on your own terms. Your journey, whether it's loud or quiet, messy or graceful, is valid and powerful. You don't need anyone's permission to grow or reinvent yourself. Let me say that again because I need you to really hear it. You do not need anyone's permission to evolve, not your bosses, not your partners, not your communities, and certainly not the inner critic who's been taking notes from a world that profits from your self doubt. Consider Nahisha McCoy, another remarkable leader whose story Crystall shared with me. Early in her career, Nahisha faced immense pressure to downplay her hardships to fit traditional business molds. She struggled for visibility in networks that weren't built with her voice or background in mind. But instead of continuing to contort herself into shapes that were never meant to hold her, Nahisha made a revolutionary choice. radical authenticity. Rather than hiding her scars, she highlighted them as proof points of her resilience. She transformed what others might see as liabilities into her greatest strategic assets. The result? She built trust with clients and partners at unprecedented speeds because her story resonated deeply. She became an influential mentor, helping others disrupt outdated norms by acting before perfection arrived. She launched successful ventures rooted in community support models and was recognized by peers as an innovator whose honesty opened doors previously closed off. I used to think my story was too much, Nahisha has said, too complicated, too nonlinear, too marked by setbacks. Now I understand that's exactly what makes it valuable. My journey isn't despite my challenges, it's because of how I've navigated them. This brings me to the second truth I hope you'll carry with you. Your authentic story is your greatest asset. Every scar, setback, and triumph can become a source of strength that sets you apart as a leader and change maker. We live in a world obsessed with highlight reels, social media, professional bios, even casual conversations at networking events. They all pressure us to present curated versions of ourselves. But what if the parts we're editing out are precisely what would connect us most deeply to others? What if our most powerful leadership moments come not from having all the answers, but from being brave enough to acknowledge the questions we're still wrestling with? Crystal emphasized that this isn't about performative vulnerability, sharing struggles for shock value or attention. It's about strategic authenticity, recognizing when your lived experience contains wisdom that others need, and having the courage to offer that wisdom even when your voice shakes. But here's where many of us get stuck trying to do this work alone, which brings me to the third crucial insight from my conversation with Crystal. Community and visibility are essential for transformation. Letitia Clark's story illustrates this beautifully. After witnessing talented colleagues being quietly pushed out of organizations without recognition, their contributions erased while less qualified peers advanced unfairly, Letitia founded a platform specifically to amplify Black women's voices. She created safe forums where women could process loss openly and explore new paths forward at their own pace, including embracing periods of stillness before leaping again. The members of her community rebuilt confidence through mutual support and reframed pauses not as failures, but as necessary resets en route to greater alignment and success. After experiencing burnout following an unceremonious exit from a major firm, Crystal explained, Letitia realized the need for communal healing spaces centered on truth telling over toxic positivity. Her initiative drew national attention, sparking dialogue about retention, equity, and mental health among Black professionals facing similar challenges. It broadened definitions of success throughout multiple sectors, encouraging leaders nationwide, especially women, to honor rest, reflection, and reemergence as vital parts of career evolution. This is what happens when we share our narratives within supportive spaces. Not only do we foster our own healing, but we shift industry norms. We create ripples that extend far beyond our individual journeys. The poet Audre Lorde wasn't being metaphorical when she wrote, "Your silence will not protect you." She was stating a practical truth about survival and transformation. When we withhold our authentic stories, when we shrink ourselves to fit into spaces never designed to hold our full brilliance, we don't just diminish our own light, we deprive others of the permission to shine more brightly too. I want to be clear. This isn't about forcing disclosure from those who aren't ready or creating new pressures to perform vulnerability in inauthentic ways. It's about recognizing that community creates courage. That visibility, chosen thoughtfully, exercised with intention, creates possibility, as Crystal put it. When one Black woman stands in her truth and refuses to apologize for her journey, she creates space for 10 more to do the same. And those 10 create space for 100. That's how we transform industries, not by fitting ourselves into existing structures, but by bringing our full selves to the table and trusting that our presence will reshape the table itself. So, where does this leave us? With three powerful truths. You have the right to evolve and reclaim your brilliance on your own terms. Your authentic story is your greatest asset. Community and visibility are essential for transformation. But knowledge without action changes nothing. So I want to leave you with this challenge. Look at your life right now. Where are you dimming your light? Where are you editing your story to make others comfortable? Where are you waiting for permission that was never theirs to give? I challenge you to take one audacious step toward reclamation today. Update your professional bio to reflect your truth instead of just your titles. Reach out to build community with others navigating similar journeys. Or simply pause long enough to ask yourself what version of you is waiting in the wings, ready for its moment on stage. The world doesn't need more people playing small. It doesn't need more voices silenced by fear. It needs you, all of you, in your messy, magnificent wholeness. Your evolution isn't just about you. When you reclaim your right to grow, to change, to become, you create a permission slip for everyone around you to do the same. Your courage becomes contagious. Your authenticity becomes an invitation. So stop waiting for the tap on the shoulder, the nod of approval, the external validation that says you're allowed to shine. The permission you seek has always lived inside you. Your brilliance has always belonged to you. Your evolution has always been your right. And your story, in all its complex, beautiful, unfinished glory, has always been your greatest power. It's time to reclaim it. Not because someone finally gave you permission, but because you finally remembered you never needed it in the first place.